Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, good evening, everyone. So, what we are going to do today is basically just a recap of what we have done so far. And before we moving on to the next one, there are a couple of few points that we should understand properly. So that's the job today, right? So far what we have learned is the chapter 1, chapter 2. So chapter 1 talks about the part of the mind, right? Just give me a second. Right. So chapter 1, what we learned there is basically, what's the first sutra in chapter 1? Anybody, if you can remember? And now it's yoga, right? So which means atha yoga anushasanam, right? So right now you have come to the place in your life, you have gone after so many things, you have gone after material things, you have gone after non-material things, wealth, kids, parents, wives, husbands, houses, cars, lands, all these things. Hope you can hear me, right? Yeah. So after that, at a point, we are coming to a juncture where let's learn yoga, right? So then Patanjali explains what is yoga is basically the chitta vritti nirodha, meaning the movements of the mind need to get ceased. Then thereafter in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra chapter 1, he keep on explaining about what is mind is made out of. So there are 5 kind of things that come to your mind, vitakka, vichara, and then yoga is basically we need to move into a place where this vitakka, vichara comes to a halt. Meaning there are no doubts in the mind, there are no questions about in the mind when you see certain things, right? Then Patanjali comes to chapter number 2, where he says, okay, so that's about the mind part of it. That's the inner mind, how it's been engineered, right? Then he comes and say, for you to go there is a path, which is the Ashtanga Yoga, where you have 8 things, the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So we talked about this, what are these Yama, what are these Niyama, what are these Asana, what are these Pranayama, and what is Pratyahara, right? So when he talks about Yama and Niyama, basically those are like foundational elements where humans are supposed to live with certain ways of living. And while you are living that, there are certain things that you should avoid. So those are like, if you put like a triangle here, right? The lowest part here, which shows as a big one, why the Yama and Niyama? Because it's not easy to do. So if I tell you, if not I ask you, if Patanjali tells us not to steal, right? So we will not physically steal something, right? But we might try to mentally steal something, right? Sometimes we say, okay, that is belong to that particular person's. That's okay, right? I will keep moving on. But on my way, I'm thinking continuously about that whole thought. In my head, it's continuously working. Even though I'm not stealing it right now physically, I am building my samskaras towards having a big or a very severe liking to something, right? So these things are not easy to do, but at a point you must always, you must try to, as much as possible, you must try to get into this habit. That is about yama and niyama. We will come to these things. Then he talks about asana. I always say asana is, it's like a temple. Build the temple right. So you should not have neck issues when you are seating. So when you are seated properly for some time, you should not do like this after some time. Not do this after some time. Not do this. And then hand automatically goes up and doing certain stretches. And the neck goes and do certain stretches. And then here and there, the spine itself will, come here, come there, give so much of relief. And you want to change the legs, right? And after some time, we might need the yoga block or some block, right? Then the desire comes in, why I'm going through this? Can't I sit in a comfortable chair and do my meditation? Who invented this to sit on the floor and do the meditation? Who invented the yoga mat? All these problems start to flow in. So you should practice in such a way that you don't have an end goal. Even if you have an end goal for something, which means you're going after a desire. So without having an end goal, you should put yourself to practice it, right? Then the temple will be solid, right? So if you look at India, Cambodia, Bali, even Sri Lanka, ancient places, temples were strong. That's why the remainings are still there. If you go to Cambodia, the Angkor Wat, that is the biggest civilization, ancient civilization in the world. So if you see the carvings of this whole Mahameru, the story that we talked about, the carving of that is still there. Even these eye lines are still there in the carvings, right? It is that good. It's not like certain things in Sri Lanka, like only the bricks, not only the bricks. The cave temple itself is there. You still can go in. You can go up in the stairs, right? So all this is possible. Why? Because the temple was strong. So body also should be something like this. It should be soft as a petal of a flower. At the same time, whenever you want it, it has to be strong as a rock, right? So once that is there only, we actually can take a chair, go inside the temple and observe maybe the wind, observe the sceneries, observe what is happening around, right? And make sure that the internally you can enrich it better through the pranayama. Then we can go into the one-pointedness, meditation and everything, right? So today what we are going to talk about is actually about the mind, because from here onwards, we will not talk about yogasana. We will not talk about pranayama. We will not talk about yama, niyama, nothing. We will only talk about mind, how to bring the mind to one-pointedness. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi, right? So let me just show you something, right? This is a very simple truth, right? About the mind, there is a small secret which is very easy to tell. It's very easy to tell, but it's so hard to understand it, because for you to understand it, you have to experience it, and experience it at different layers, right? Without explaining, it's very easy. You can just parrot it, you can write down, you can give a lecture to somebody else and make sure that you look like a big sadhu, right? And so you can do all these things, but you will never understand it, right? Right. So here we will talk about these things, right? So key facts for the success of your journey. Number one is you need to know it. Whatever the spiritual script or whatever it is, you first of all, you need to know it. At least Patanjali Yoga Sutra, even if you don't understand the meanings in the first place, you should be able to get an understanding. Okay, chapter 1 talks about this, chapter 2 talks about this, 3 talks about this, 4 talks about something that I really don't understand, right? Then start practicing it. At least start, stop lying, right? Stop stealing, right? And don't possess things. How can now, if I tell you, if every one of you are wearing jewelry, so if I ask you, give me your necklace right now, whatever the jewelry that you are wearing, give me your necklace, right? So I don't think you can just give it like that. Or you might say, I can give it, that's not a problem. But this has a sentimental value in my family, which my great-grandmothers, this one gave to this one, this one, this one. So because of that reason, it needs to be preserved in the house. So because of that reason, I can't give it to you. Otherwise, I would have given it, right? We hear a lot of justifications like that, right? Sometimes. So it's not like that. Giving is giving, right? So if you give some money to some person, if you're not expecting it in return, you should not have accounts in your mind. I have given him 50,000 rupees, still he's troubling me. Likewise, if you gave it, you gave it. That's it, full stop, right? But it's very hard to do in this life that we are dealing with right now. Somebody would ask, what are you talking? The fuel is 500 bucks and the bread is closing to 1,000. And are you asking me to forget about the money that I gave to somebody else, right? So that's how it works. Then experiencing it. So practicing and experiencing are two different things. Practice is you practice something, but experience is the result. Out of the practice that you do, maybe you will get so much of calmness in your mind. Maybe you will get so much of clarity in your mind, right? That is experience. And then you need to, so what happens is at a point when you experience something, you think, oh, I have reached to another layer in my mind, right? I will give a very good example for this today, right? Then what you do is, okay, I have reached there. Now it's time for me to preach. So I will keep on preaching because I have already reached there. No, if you experience something, you practice it further. Shut up, practicing it further. Practice, 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 right? Abhyasa, vairagya, tan nirodha. If you want to go to the nirodha stage, abhyasa, vairagya, this has to be done, right? Good. So there's a nice poem also. This is a nice story, which we will go through today. And this is where I wanted to reach. Right, how to play this? Okay, good. Everybody can see the screen. This is the fastest presentation I did in this whole session. Okay. Right. So here, can't see the mouse. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Right. So we have a physical body. Right? Everybody is having a physical body. Whatever you don't have, at least you have a physical body, which is good. So we have a physical body and we have a, what is happening? I don't understand. Anyway, that's fine. This is good. So we have a physical body and we have a head, right? So we have karmendriya, which means the organs of action. And then we have the senses where we take things in, like eyes, ears, nose, skin, tongue, and the processing faculty is mind, right? So if you look at the humans or animal or anybody, most of them have a mind, right? But the level, how sophisticated it may be different from humans to animals. Yeah. So what mind looks like is something like this, right? It's something like this. It's a proper mess, right? So mind is something like this always. So then what you need to do is, so let's do a small exercise, right? So you sit comfortably, right? Sit very comfortable, keep the body straight, do all your stretches, this, that, and the other right now, and do a little bit of hand stretch up, right? Just do it. Come on, come on, come on. All the sleepy eyes need to open up. Otherwise, I might sleep. So then you will wait. Look up. Put the chest forward and hands behind. Right. and release. Good. Now, so just hands, just open, close, open, close, and close. Right? Just shake the hands. Good, good. Give a little bit of tapping to your face. Just wake it up. Right? Good. Right. Now, you are going to close your eyes. Right? So, stay straight, body is straight. Keep your hands maybe on the desk, whatever it is, or any mudra you want to adopt. And then look at the tip of the nose. Now slowly close your eyes. Don't do anything now. Don't try to meditate. Don't try to bring the mind to one point. Don't try to find the enlightenment. Nothing. Just close your eyes. Now, think of you as an observer. And your mind is situated under. So as an observer, you are in a higher place, higher physical place, right? And imagine that your mind is just below you. Now watch your mind. Now look at your mind. Don't try to manipulate any feelings, emotions, thoughts, anything which comes to your mind, right? So just look what is happening in your mind. What sort of thoughts are coming to your mind? What sort of memories are coming to your mind? What sort of pains the body feels? Changes or movements in the body. Maybe your toes are shaking, right? So maybe your fingers are just moving. Maybe your eyelids are moving, right? Maybe you're swallowing saliva or just movement in the mouth. Tongue may be moving. Look at those movements. Now observe whatever you are hearing. Observe whatever you are hearing. It can be from the computer speaker, it can be from outside, it can be a dog barking from the road, a honking of a vehicle, anything. Observe the smell, any smell that you're feeling right now. Observe what your skin can feel right now. Is it hot outside? Is it cold? Is there a fan in front of you? Is it a little sweaty? Or do you feel any light wind around you? Now feel what you are tasting inside the mouth right now. There has to be some taste. Now slowly move to the mind. Just observe what it's doing. What are the thoughts coming to your mind? Any urges coming to your mind? Please open your eyes, some kind of thing. So maybe you are getting an urge saying, shall we open the eyes? Shall we change the position? Mosquito is biting me. Somebody is calling me. Aren't we doing any slides today? Aren't we learning any sutras? Are we going to just jabber the whole 1 hour? What are you feeling? Slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Right? Right. Now, whatever when you observe, if you felt anything, if you can name it. So if I ask one of you, I'll ask just one of you, right? So today's session, anyway, I'm not going to upload it. And because the person who would look at this video without any background might get fully confused, right? So you can unmute. So I'm going to ask from each one of you. So Dushanti, did you hear anything while you're observing?
Yes.
One thing you heard, give me a name.
My dog barking.
Dog barking, good. Jayanthan, did you felt anything in your skin? I can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the heat. Actually, it's too hot here, so I felt a little bit of like hotness in the body, maybe.
So you didn't felt any wind kind of a thing?
Yeah, the fan cooling is there because I came after yoga. I feel a little bit of cold.
That's fine. Varuni, did you smell anything?
No, I didn't smell anything.
No smell at all, nothing.
No.
Bharata, did you get anything to your mind?
Yes, Amal. Actually, I saw something, but I couldn't remember it exactly.
That's right. Good. Poonam, are you around?
I totally forgot that actually.
That's very good. Poonam, did you see, hear, smell anything? That's fine. So, first of all, if you heard anything, if you felt anything, if you tasted anything, for any of these things, you can describe that in words. So, Jayanthan, when I asked, he described many things. Right? Dushanti described saying she heard a dog barking. Right? So Varuni said she didn't feel any smell. That's fine. So if I ask you, what does no smell feels like? What is no smell feels like? Right? So you are basically got used to the smell of your atmosphere right now. You felt it, but relative to that, you didn't feel anything beyond or anything new. So you are in a normal this thing, right? You know that it's like pure water, right? If you drink pure water, you will immediately die. Pure water, right? Ultra pure water, if you drink, you will die, right? So that's normal. So likewise, what is smell free is something we don't know. We as human beings, we don't know what is smell free, right? So when I ask the question from each and every one of you, you could give an answer. You could describe. How you can describe is because through a language. Who feed this language to your head is the ones who raised you. And based on the information given to you from the small age, maybe you learned a different language, English. So we are now expressing things in English, right? Otherwise, mind, when you came to this world, don't know this language, right? It's empty. Somebody has programmed you, right? So then what happens is when you close your eyes, right? There are thousands of things running in your head. Isn't that correct? If there's any person here says, there's nothing in my head, stop the class, right? No need to come to the class, right? So something is running in your head. Something is running. At least if you think, no, I felt like there's nothing and there's totally nothing, right? There's a white background. So you had a white background in your mind. Who gave it white? Who told you white? So white is a name. Name came to your mind. The color white came to your mind and you experienced it. And is it like a square type? Is it a rectangular? What? Is it like a whole big white color wall? So even though you think it's one thing, there are multiple things even in one thought, right? Which is decorating it. When you, at the moment you think about white, oh, white, pure white, right? Then a white wall, white background, everything is white. Oh, I'm there. No, I'm also not there. White, white, white. So likewise, it keep on going on, right? So the problem is we have our whole physical body, the organs, sense organs, and the mind. So this mind, so hands, if I ask you, don't move it, keep it like this, you can keep it, at least for some time. If I ask you to shut your mouth and stay here, you should be able to shut your mouth and stay. If I ask you to stand up and wait, if I ask you to come to a particular yoga asana, if I ask you to keep your eyes closed, if I ask you to keep your ears closed. So when you do all this is possible to do, right? At least you can take a 1 minute pause on a day on all these other organs. But mind is a thing, the nature of it is it's continuously moving. Mind is continuously working. Continuous, working. Because the mind is continuously working, so there are feelings come, there are smriti, memories come. So memory is a bank. So many types of memories come. And then once a memory come, based on the current situation, you modify that memory, right? And currently, right now, whatever you are gathering, also you give a name to that. You give a color to that. You make modifications to that. You create likeness, dislikeness, small, big, good, bad. All these things are, at a point, you are just throwing at one thing. So right now, if I ask you, what do you think about what you see in the screen today? What do you think about my appearance today? So one would say, oh, you are wearing a t-shirt. Normally to this class, you don't wear a t-shirt. Why you are wearing a t-shirt today, right? And that blue doesn't go with the whole background. Background is all yellow color. And is there a door? Is there a picture there? The same background he's sitting. What sort of a chair he may be using? Is he using a desk in front of him, or is it a setup, or is he using any lights in front of him? All these things, when you look at my screen, things are keep on working, right? So keep on working. So the problem happens is when the mind is keep on working, when you have a person or yourself entangled with what you think in your mind, only the problems come in. Right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So this is what you call as the ego or the I-ness, the sense of myself, me. All this is basically, now for an example, imagine this, right? So whatever you are seeing in my screen today, if you just let it just see, eyes to let just see, right? And if you are not attaching that with your mind, you will just capture something into your inside the eye screen and it will go away, right? It will not even go to your mind. But what happens is, I am attending to this session. I am watching through my computer. So for whatever being gathered to your head through the sense organs, since you are putting yourself, now there's a definition that you are giving to each and every one of it. And then some of you today may be not feeling very comfortable why he's wearing a t-shirt. Some of you might say it's very unprofessional, right? So you should not wear t-shirts like that, right? So some might say, oh yeah, he's very casual today, right? So you get something to your mind out of the sense organs, and now you are giving a result out of it. Through what? Through your mind processing. Do you agree? Yeah. So then what happens is this mind continuously keep working. And that is the same reason why you don't get a rest, why you don't have peace of mind, why you can't close your eyes to do a meditation. Because you have attached yourself to whatever mind is processing. Even though it is your mind, you are not responsible even, and you are not supposed to entangle yourself with whatever the mind is processing. Right? Now, for an example, best example is this. So you are listening to a radio, right? I told this example with somebody in this class, right? So when you are listening to that, whatever the FM channel, right? So if I ask you, did all of you listen to a radio within the last 7 days? No. Yes, you did, right? You did. Or otherwise I will ask, did you listen to TV? Or did you take your mobile phone and did you watch something out of this, right? If you didn't, awesome, right? But you couldn't, right? So when you watch something, so let's take the radio example, right? So the radio, this news announcer is saying, okay, let's take a little break. Before that, let's do a time check. The time check is brought to you by Maliban Biscuit Private Limited, and the time is now ting tong 10:30 p.m. Right? On the same way, so now when you are listening to that, do you totally take Maliban Biscuit to your mind? Do you try to feel the Maliban Biscuit taste right now? Right? And when she is asking, would you like to check the time right now? Do you, in front of the radio, saying, yes, I want to check the time. Let's check the time. Do you answer to the radio? Anybody here who is answering to a radio? Anybody answering to a radio? Not that some crazy people talking to the radio and say, I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people to listen to the next song, right? I don't understand that, right? But so you don't, basically when the radio is playing in the background, you do not answer to the questions asked in the radio, right? So sometimes one would say, let's go into weather report today. Then you don't say, yes, let's go to the weather report. Let's go to the weather report. I'm ready. Let's go to that, right? You don't answer, right? Why? Because radio is playing in the background while you are either driving, while you're doing something. For some people, right now, maybe hearing myself as a radio, right? Just keep on jabbering, right? So when you are listening to a radio, you don't even hear most of the things which is being played in the radio. Am I correct? You don't hear most of the things, right? Because your mind may be with something else. You are thinking something else. Maybe some romantic song get played, and then your mind get attached with that particular romantic song in some incident of your life. And now in your mind, that particular file is open. Now you are enjoying that, right? But the song is being played, but you are not listening to that. but it's coming to your ears, but you're not listening to that, right? So this is what happens sometimes when you listen to some text, some thing that you want to listen, you keep on replaying it. I didn't hear that, I didn't get it. It just played, but you didn't get it. You go back. Again, you play it. Again, you don't get it. Why? Because mind is being distracted with something else, but this sound is coming in, but you are not processing it properly, right? So likewise, the mind chatter, right? The mind work, which is happening, is also like a radio, right? Sometimes it gives a male voice, sometimes it gives a female voice, some music, some ting tong, and some advertisement, some they're talking about some food, and some conversation is happening, some love story is happening. So many things are happening, but we don't notice a lot of these things. Why we don't notice is we don't pay attention to that input that we are getting, right? Now, if I ask you, now you would have listened to some song in the radio, right? Did you really, when you listen to that song, did you really go into the word by word meaning of it and really trying to understand what is the philosophical story behind this song and understood it? Not really, right? You don't even remember the words, but you enjoyed the song. It's just the noise that you enjoyed. You did not tangle yourself properly with it, right? So that's why sometimes we say, when you are talking with your spouse, right? Don't answer the spouse. Sometimes they are also just talking like a radio, let it play, right? So when you answer, they feel like, you are not listening to me. Why can't you listen to me, right? Why you are trying to offer solutions to me? Don't offer solutions, just listen. So imagine that person is just like a radio. Then just do this and listen, right? Here and there, don't forget to make a smile in your face and give some emotion to give them the signal, at least pretend that you care, right? That's what a lot of people do, right? And that's a winning way as well. Good. Now, again, coming back to the radio story. So when the radio is playing, and especially if you're going in a private bus in Sri Lanka, right? They don't allow you to escape from the noise. So they put buffers in like every 3 feet of the bus, right? And that is being fixed like this. One speaker here, one speaker here, one speaker here. So nowhere you are allowed to walk without some noise, right? So, and then from the moment that you get into the bus, some daga music is happening, right? Have you ever thought about the meaning of that song? No. Did you even observe, okay, a drum is playing, piano is playing, violin is playing, flute is playing, the saxophone is playing. Did you observe what are the types of noises coming to your ears? Obviously it's noise, but types of noises which is combined together to a bigger noise. Not really, right? So sometimes while you're driving, you play a song. After some time, you realize, oh, the playlist is repeating again. Maybe for the 4th and the 5th time. You don't know. Has it happened to you? Because you are just with the noise, right? You are not tangling yourself to that, right? And also, while you are driving somewhere, you see the sceneries and everything. If I ask you to explain everything from Colombo to Kandy, Colombo to Nuwara, can you even tell 15 significant places? You can tell 15 significant places, but if I ask on that particular day, what happened in these 15 or at least 5 significant places? What exactly happened there? How many people are there? What were those people were wearing? Was it a rainy day? Was it a sunny day? Was there a tree? Right? If I ask these things, you cannot answer. Because even though you are gathering so many inputs from your eyes, you are not processing it. You are not processing it in the sense things are coming to inside your eyes, but you are not entangling yourself with it. Right? You are not entangling yourself with it. It just comes, just goes. Right? So mind is also, you have your beautiful face and the head like this. So many things are happening like a kottu roti or kind of a big mess like this. At the moment you close your eyes, if I tell you what's running in my mind, and if I ask you what's running in your mind, we are not having this conversation. Can somebody like that teach in a lesson like this? Or can students thinking such things can sit down and listen to something like this? That's going to be the question. Right? In a moment, so many things are there, but you feel restless because you try to entangle yourself with all these changing things. Right? Then you actually get restless. But if you are like, you just close your eyes, and then if you just keep on, just look at your mind. Okay, mind went here, mind went this, it talks about this, it talks about this, all these things, but you don't entangle yourself. Let the mind do whatever the mind is supposed to do. If you try to stop the mind, that will not happen. Right? If you try to stop the mind, it's like you are trying to stop the movement in your fingers. Then you don't call it a finger anymore. It would become a bone. So imagine you are going to stop moving this hand for a month. Right? So all the fingers will get tightened, right? And it will not move anymore. You will lose the control of your hand. Right? For it to be a hand, it has to move. Just like that, for your mind to be a mind, it has to keep on processing, running like that. But it doesn't mean that you have to get engaged with all what is running in your head. Right? So if a bad memory comes in, so bad memory came, let it circle around and vanish. You don't get into that and say that bad memory came, it happened because of me, I would have acted like this, but I didn't do it so far. I apologize to this person, it was too late. And then the sorrow comes, and then, so basically a thought came, you entangled yourself. After some time, as a result of the entanglement, either you feel sad and crying and tears coming out, or you say something harsh to another person, or you just spoil your whole day and you just spoil whatever you are doing. All these things can happen. But if you just let anything flow into your head, let the mind be like a mind, let it keep continuing working, but you are not entangling yourself with that. Right? Let everything function like that, and you're out of it. Right? So this is what you call as the real self. So the real self is there. It's in its very pure form. But we spoil it by attaching that with our mind. We let it take a form. Right? With this, you can't meditate. At the moment you close your eyes, you just need to, just look at your mind. What is it thinking? Right? So I can see Varuni. I can see Dushanti, and I can see my slides. I can kind of feel, the air around, and I can feel that there is a light is switched on, right? So all these things can be seen. Then I take some thoughts about, after this class, I have to go out for something, tomorrow's work, tomorrow I'm at home, day after tomorrow's work, what to eat for dinner, what am I going to cook? Do I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients? Do I have chilies? All these nonsense will keep on at the moment that you close your eyes. Isn't it true? Right? So what you need to do is, when you close your eyes, now it starts, okay? You should be able to, when you open your eyes, you should be able to list down. List down and be very okay with it. Before your situation, before you closing your eyes, after you opening your eyes has to be the same. If you did not entangle yourself with this whole thought process. Right? Okay. Did you understand till that point? Do you kind of get it? Yeah? Okay. Now, for us to do this observing part of it. What we need to do is the next question. So we have been living like this for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 55 years, 60 years. Right now, suddenly he's telling, your mind is working here. Don't stay here. Don't stay with the mind. You stay above the mind now. And just watch what the mind is going or flowing through and all of it. So now this you can't do overnight. Right? So the biggest question now is how we do that. Right? Take this as the best example. Can all of you drive? Who can drive? Dushant, you don't drive. Jayantan, you don't drive. You can't drive a bicycle? Ride a bicycle? You can, right? Bharata can drive something, right? I know Nilushi can drive. Okay, good. So, on a day that you are driving in your normal speed, Varuni, what's your average speed? 120, 80, 70?
60. That was long time ago. I don't drive now anyway.
That's good. So 60 is good. Let's say, okay. So Jayantan, you normally drive like, can you pedal fast when you go? Because you want to go from A to B very fast and finish that job. Yeah. Okay. So what happens is, if you all were driving, if you all even were walking on a particular speed, so there are people, when you look at the person, you see the person has a walking style, there's a speed the person walks, there's a way the person walks, and you will walk, right? So I'm telling you, reduce the speed to half. Reduce your walking, driving, riding, whatever the speed, to half, right? So what happens is, now you see, oh, there is a building here. And apparently it's 20 years old. It has been there all the time, right? And there is a road here. And so this is a place a lot of parrots get together. And that's a place where police monitor your speed. I never saw those policemen, right? And there is a school. And there is this nice shop or food place, right? So all these things now you start to see. Has it happened to you? Or maybe when you are not in the driving seat, when you are in the passenger seat, suddenly it's the same road, but now you see so many different things on the road. But it has been there for the last 20 to 30 to 50 years. That particular bow tree or that particular big tree has been there, right? But today only you see, that's a messy tree, right? A big vehicle can't go under because it will hit the tree, right? All these inspections now start to come. Now, the question is, haven't you passed that tree for 10 years? Wasn't the tree there? Wasn't you there? Isn't the same vehicle that you were driving, at least the same setup that you were seating, right? But why didn't you see? It's because our lives, not your life, right? Our life systems are too fast, right? If I ask you, have you ever tasted pepper alone? Most of you haven't. You have put the pepper into some food and then you have tasted it. If I ask you, have you taken pepper like sugar to your palm and just tasted it? You haven't. Have you taken turmeric to your hand and tasted? You haven't. If I ask you certain kitchen things that you put, the ingredients, what does the taste of this looks like, feels like? You don't know. But every day you are putting it to your food, right? It's because we are running at a particular way, because our lives are being programmed in such a way to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4 things. This is your daily task. From here to here, 10 minutes. From there to there, 15 minutes. Take a tuk, take a bike. From there to there only you drive. And when you are driving, you put your setup like this, right? So all these things are all fixed. And we are in such a way that we are moving in the same way, either faster than yesterday, right? So what you should do is, you should, when you are doing something, even when you are cooking, reduce the speed to half and see one day, right? Even the food will taste better, right? And you will have a good time cooking that as well. You are slow, right? So if you are driving like 100 kilometers per hour, bring it to 60 kilometers. You will see trees around the road. You will see water. You will see a river. You will see, if you're driving to on a mountain area, you know, there's a nice scenery next to you, right? So this whole observing part happens when you slow down only. When you slow down only from your current speed, there is no particular speed to slow down, right? So one day you slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, then you can actually feel what is running in your head. You can observe the mind. Further you slow down, further you slow down, further you slow down. Not only that you see what is running in your head, you will see this is running in such a way, one thought comes, it ends, and another thought comes, it ends, and another thought comes, it ends. At a point in your mind, it can only process one thought. Even though when you close your eyes, you feel like a million things are running in at a particular time, right? And that time can be even a 1 particle of 1,000 of a millisecond, right? At a point, your mind processes only one thought. You can't feel like, okay, yeah, that one thought is running right now. Yeah, good. Okay, it ended. Now the next one started. No, not like that. It goes like this. So fast, right? The most sophisticated graphic card is your mind, right? There's no other graphic card, because even a graphic card is graphic card. A CPU, a computer is designed to either have 2 cores. So this one also works, this one also works. Otherwise, it has a single core. So you process this one, end it. Then the next one, end it. Then the next one, end it. Likewise. So our mind is also programmed in such a way, at a particular time and a particular split second, one thought. It ends, next one. It ends, next one. It ends, next one. Right? So initially you are running at your same speed. Mind is going on and you are just throwing your hands and everything, because you either attach yourself to this thing or disattach, and then based on that, without your knowledge, karmendriyas are doing its work. Sometimes we scold people and say we never meant it, and we say sorry, 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 because some words just went out without even your knowledge, right? But if you slow down, there is a time to actually observe and choose whether with this particular thought, should I entangle myself with, or let it just process, right? You don't have to entangle yourself with everything running in your mind. Mind's way is it keep on working, right? But there's no necessity for you to get entangled with it, right? So when you further slow down, you will realize, okay, thoughts are happening like this, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Then when you further slow down, what happens is, there is a thought, it ends, and just before the next thought starts, there is a small gap with a silent space. Nothing is happening there. So you should be able to, you can actually find that after some time, right? Then all these sages and everybody, what they do is, this particular silence point between 2 thoughts, they try to extend, right? So that's where you actually find the nirvana. Nothing is there, nothing. You are with nothing. No samskaras are getting generated. You're not getting angry. You're not getting happy. You're not getting sad. Nothing. So that's all about the 3rd chapter and 4th chapter is about. If you ask me right now, we have discussed the 3rd and the 4th chapter. How from your current speed to reduce your speed and understand how the mechanics of the mind works, and where you need to actually attach is not to a single thought. You should actually attach to the silence or the gap between a thought. Now, this gap, you can't find it tonight, right? So this need to actually happen. You need to slow down the way you talk. You need to slow down your eating. You need to slow down your walking. You need to slow down everything that you do. Now, don't ask me the question, okay, my boss is pushing so much. Should I slow down my work as well? Get that hell out, finish it, and live your life. Right? I am not telling about the job. So he said for me to become a spiritual person, I should slow down my work. So I'm slowing down my work because I want to become a better person. You'll be kicked out tomorrow. Right now, our country doesn't have, not our country, no country have capacity to make people see, slow down. No. There are certain duties that you have to do. You do it, right? At least take 1 hour per day. Just slow down. If you are jogging, do it slowly. If you are walking, do it slowly. If you are driving, do it slowly. If you are eating, do it slowly, and you will see that, there are so much of tastes in this food. And whatever that quantity that you are eating, it feels sufficient. So what do? We take the laptop, we put a YouTube clip or something, and then we eat. Even if a cockroach or a lizard or anything just fall on your plate, you eat it, you will not know. Nothing to worry, no disease will happen. Because with that, you haven't entangled your mind, but you have eaten the cockroach. No problem. Right? But one day, if you feel like when your spoon is here, there's a cockroach walking, you don't have to eat it. You will get a stomachache anyway. But you haven't eaten it because you tangled yourself with that thought. Now it's hallucinating in the night. Some people had a problem. You sleep. Still they see the cockroach walking on your body. Remember? Right? I don't think they remember. Right? You sleep. In the dreams, you are scared of the cockroach. In the dreams, the cockroach has come and given you a kiss and gone. Right? In the morning, so some ripple effect is there. Now I need to go to the doctor. And the doctor asks why. Cockroach is in big problem. But right now, since that cockroach is no more in your head, you haven't entangled your mind with that cockroach's thought, right? Still the cockroach is walking on top of you in the night, but you are not bothered, right? The cockroach will not change its route because you just started taking its space. It will walk in the same way, but you have taken that out from your head. Right? So as an exercise, eat slow. Eat slow. Don't watch anything. Don't do anything. Just take your food to your table. Eat very slow. Use your hand. If you want, you use your cutlery and all this kind of thing. But you eat slow. Taste each food. Taste food from the top of or the tip of your tongue, sides of your tongue, inside the tongue. Right? And even while you're drinking, take 1 sip, swallow it. Another sip, swallow it, and see what happens. You don't need so much of food that you're eating to fill up your stomach. A little amount of food can fill up your stomach. Right? And you will start to even appreciate your own cooking. So this happens when you slow down, you get the ability to observe. That's the whole point of all these stories. Right? Slow down whatever you do. When you are waking up, slowly wake up. You should be able to let go of some of the pains in the body because you're waking up so fast. Every day that particular place is getting upset. When you're doing a yoga asana, do it slow. Do it in a pace where you can feel each and every movement of your spine. Right? You don't have to go up. Right? Nobody is giving you any marks or nobody is appreciating anything. Right? Appreciating or criticism, nothing. You are just doing it without consciousness. right? Be conscious, and when you are getting up, understand what are the pain points and also what are the techniques that you need to adapt. Okay, my breathing is wrong. Let's go back, properly breathe, come up. So do that. That is working on yourself, right? Working on yourself is that, right? So always remember that whenever you are doing something slow, remember I'm working on myself. That's very important, right? So if you're driving, so I drive normally outstation like 100 kmph. But recently, because of this fuel problem, I am driving like 60, 70. I see that, there are so many things. There are shops, boutiques, and there are, trees and fruits, flowers. All these things you start to see. It's only, and then you are not tired as well. You're not stressed as like you're driving. Now, when you're driving 100, you're so stressed, right? But when you're driving 60, you're not stressed. Sometimes you might even fall asleep. Even if you fall asleep, you're going in such a speed that you can manage it, right? So when you are driving like 100, what if a cat crossed the road? So much of panic, screaming. There is a possibility you will die. Cat has just escaped, but you die because of the panic, right? But if you drive slowly, no problem. Cat is driving, nothing to do. You just go on your own speed. It will go, you will go, right? So it's important for you to adopt yama, niyama. You must slow down. You should be able to figure out while you are walking, what are the things happening around you. You should be able to observe that. And while you are sleeping, how the sleeping process happens. So some people say, when I just jump to the bed, I feel asleep. Should not be like that. You need to go to the bed, arrange yourself, and you should be able to be aware that how the sleeping process is happening, right? And then now you are sleeping. If that happens, no dreams will come. Otherwise, with all this blah, 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 world is running so fast, you sleep and your mind has still keeping running in the same speed. So much of dreams, disturbances, all these things will come, right? So the most important thing is whatever you have learned so far, unless you slow down with your life, you are not going to get anywhere. You must slow down, right? And then you should be able to figure out, okay, these thoughts are coming in my head. Should I entangle myself or let it just this thing, right? So what happens is at a latter space, when you are calmed down, your mind is working and your mind always wants to disturb you. It's the way how it is designed, right? It always wants to come and just pinch you and just, otherwise it's not feeling like living, right? Do something. This thought is coming, spaghetti tonight. Let's do it. Let's go and cook, right? So something, it keep on pushing something, and then your indriyas will work according to that. So what happens is after some time, when you learn to observe your mind and you just stay there, just observing, you're not actioning, no output, nothing. Then what happens is people tell, this is a next level of sadhana they have achieved. This is not a next level of sadhana, right? What happens is when you calm down, when your mind is giving you so much of signals, but if you are not acting according to that, right, your mind will search your most painful, sorrowful memories or incidents. It will take it and throw at you, right? So in your meditation, if you try to meditate and if you feel like, good, so many things are happening, but I'm not getting entangled with it, I am paying my attention to the breath, only the breath. So sometimes here and there, the mind goes away from the breath. Again, you come back. Now after some time, you can continuously keep your awareness on the breath. Then what happens is now the mind is still working. It's continuously working. Why you feel you are calm is you are not entangling yourself to the mind work which is happening inside. You are only taking the breath and you have entangled yourself fully to the breath, right? Then what happens is mind gets restless. Now then the mind will go into deeper layers in your mind and take the most painful or certain things which will, again shake you. Some people say, my meditation went so well, I started to remember my 2 years of age. Then if you ask, what did you exactly recall? That's either a very happy memory or a very painful memory, not a moderate times. Right? So that thing, mind takes it and throw and say, now let's see how you react. So for those also, you should be able to stay calm. This is what is meant by this very popular story. I don't know, people understand the depth of it. When Buddha was meditating for 6 years, what did he do for 6 years? Did he just close his eyes and waited? No. So basically, this is a big process, right? So when this big process goes, and towards the last days, he says, these 3 daughters of Mara came and danced in front of him, which means he had taken himself away from the chattering of the mind. But then mind is keep on working. Then when the mind can't do anything to you, make you work, make you active, then this whole tanha, rati, raga type of feelings come. People call it either sexual energy or some greediness, a big liking towards something. You like a person, you possess for something. Those type of feelings start to come in. So mind will keep on giving you trouble. And if you are not being active to those trouble, mind knows where to hit you, which point to hit, mind knows. Those type of things it takes from the smriti, the memory box, and then throw it at you. So that can be maybe a thought, something that you have done in your past, which you regret the most, which you like, even you go to any temple, how much you apologize, how much you try to make up your mind, you cannot make up your mind. You have this feeling, no, I have committed this, I have said this is wrong, I shouldn't have said it, I can't recall it back, I can't turn it around. Those type of things the mind will take and throw. That's a trump of the mind, right? And then you're gone. So you should slow down, and you should know this. When it comes to this stage, you should know. You should know, okay, I am getting these type of feelings, not because, I have committed that crime over and over and again. My mind won't need to get entangled with it and get out of this calmness. Get out from this meditation. Right? That's where this whole Mara Duvaru, or the daughters of the Mara comes and, really try to this thing. So Buddha, even when that is happening, he was calm. Fine. He made that also as an observance. So he also get urges like that. He started to get urges like that. But he observed, okay, this thought came in. Now I'm getting urges. What's happening? This is what is happening. I am calm to this level and I have not entangled myself to anything. Do not entangle with these things either. Further move on. After that only he could, connect with the nature, connect with the super consciousness and became Buddha. Otherwise it would have gone. Right? So when you are slowing down, when you try to make up your mind is not ready for that. Right? Your mind will work, keep on working. So when the mind is working like that, imagine you are in the center here and the mind is working. So right now what we are going to do is we are slowly trying to bring this particular self outside. So that's why I have put the I here. So let's just watch what's happening. Let's observe what's happening, not become a part of it. Let's observe what's happening. Right? For you to observe anything, you need to slow down. You must slow down. Right? So I'll share this slide with you. Read this poem. This is called Slow Dance. This I learned 4 years back. Right? So read this poem. This is basically talking about slowing down. Right? Have you ever watched kids on a merry-go-round or listened to the rain slapping on the ground? Have you ever? Raindrops slapping on the ground. Have you heard that? Right? Have you observed kids? What is the sound like? Is it like that movie gives a sound like, no, that's a computer sound. That's not the sound.
Yeah, but
You
I
must
hear multiple
observe.
noises.
Huh?
We hear multiple noises, like, it's like drizzling kind of a sound.
Yeah. If you hear multiple noises, you haven't listened to the one drop noise yet. Right? So when there is rain, what do? We take the clothes in, close the house, and then see where is your pet and everything. Is it lightning? Let's get onto the bed. Let's do it. Right? That's a routine. But if you really slow down, you should be able to get wet in the rain. Feel how the rain feels into your body. Hear the noise of the rain. Right? So these things, for you to observe, you must slow down from your routine. Right? Then it says, ever followed a butterfly's erratic flight? How it flies a butterfly. How that happens, have you seen? How many times the butterfly put this and go like this, again one, like this? No. Or gazed at the sun into the fading night. You better slow down, don't dance so fast. Time is short, the music won't last. Time is short, the music won't last, so don't dance so fast, right? Dance slow. Then they say, this is like a literature class now. Do you run through each day on the fly? When you ask, how are you? Do you hear the reply? So we ask from people, right? Hey, Jonathan, how are you? So let's start with wherever we stopped from last class. We go on, right? I don't stop to hear your response. Have you noticed this? Have you done this? We just for formality sometimes say, hey, how are you? So how are things going on the political news? Do you have petrol? Right? You never stop to even get a response to your own question. Right? Then when you ask how do you hear the reply? When the day is done, do you lie in your bed with the next 100 chores running through your head? You would better slow down. Time is short. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. Right? Ever told your child, we'll do it tomorrow? Let's do it tomorrow. Right? And in your haste, not see his sorrow. So you tell that we will do it tomorrow, and then he gets sad. Have you ever noticed that? Ever lost touch? Let a good friendship die, because you never had time to call and say hi. If I ask you how many people that you have lost contact with, right? If you look at your phone book or a piece of paper, or if you meet some old friends, you will suddenly realize, oh my God, I haven't talked to this person for like 20 years, right? Because you have totally forgotten that person from your life itself, right? Then you'd better slow down, don't dance so fast. Time is short, the music won't last, right? So music will go like this, right? When you run so fast to get somewhere, you miss half the fun of getting there. This is very nice. When you worry and hurry through your day, it is like an unopened gift thrown away. Life is not a race. Do take it slower. Hear the music before the song is over. Right? So imagine now, have you noticed the same road, maybe the road to your house, you are driving in a vehicle and walking on the road, how different is that? 1000% different. You can't, and actually you feel better when you walk. You walk, you say hi to at least not a person, to at least a dog. At least you see a bird just flying, or a little bird, some tiny bird's noise. Right? Somebody suffering, somebody shouting, and somebody come and say hi to you. Then you suddenly say, who is that person? That's your neighbor. You haven't seen for ages. right? So please slow down. For you to practice yoga, Hatha Yoga, it can be Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, whatever, Abhidharma, Christianity, Islam, whatever it is, unless you slow down, if you go in the same pace that you are doing everything, music won't last, right? Song will be over like this, and it will be too late, too sorry, right? So only remedy that you have to do to get this, to internalize this, to learn it, to practice it, become more peaceful, learn the spirituality, enrich your life to next level, is to slow down. Slow down, right? So always keep that in your mind. Whenever you forget it, read this poem. And how many things you must have lost. I mean, on a particular day, inside your house, how much fun have you must have lost, right? But you only focus on the sorrowful task. Do it, get rid of it, finish it. Do it, finish it, get rid of it, right? Cooking can be awesome. So I lived in a place for some time, fully alone, right? Cooking is good. So first of all, chopping is good. Washing vegetables is good. Cooking is good. Eating is good. And doing the dishes is good, right? Everything is fun when you pay attention and be fully aware with it. Everything is good. Even doing dishes. I mean, what you do is you just take the liquid, you take the sponge or whatever it is, done. Next one, done. You need even that if you put, attention to it, to the curves, to the little insides, right? And all of it, there is actually a fun in it, right? So we are missing out a lot. And when you are eating a mango, now if you ask what is the taste of mango, mango taste is the same. But each and every mango on the same tree has a different taste, right? These days you have rambutan. Try that with rambutan, right? So good. So basically this is the foundation. So there's no point telling this earlier at the beginning of chapter 1, beginning of chapter 2. No, you have to give something. And then you need to realize this is impossible to do. We are missing something. What are we missing? We are missing everything being so fast, right? So even the mind chatter you can observe if you slow down. If you take yourself, you withdraw yourself and make yourself as a spectator and see what the mind is thinking. This thought, that thought, or you, that thought, this mind is still thinking about that particular girl or a boy or that woman, that man, and all this in my childhood crush, my student time crush, this, that, and the other. Just mind is working. Let it work. Let it work. Don't try to stop it or don't try to put your hands into that. You withdraw yourself and observe it very carefully. Yeah. So that is it. Right? Are we good? Yeah. Right. So we will stop the session from here. After that, you can ask any question. Right. Very fast, right? Stopping the session. Stop it slow. Okay, so hands in Anjali Mudra. Deep inhale, exhale. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. See, the closing prayer changes when you hurry up. But if you took some time to keep your hands, just observe yourself, you know exactly what is the closing prayer and everything, right? Good. Right. Do you have any questions?